so that we don't think that these Russophiles and Putinphiles are very far away, they are also quite prevalent in Canada. Not really in Toronto as much, but certainly in Ottawa. At the University of Ottawa, we have Katchanovski, who's even more extreme than John Paul Himka when it comes to Ukrainian nationalism. I even accused him at a conference in Edmonton a few years ago of actually being a Russian political technologist as opposed to an academic, because he believes in all these conspiracy theories. For example, that the people who were killed, the Heavenly Hundred who were killed on the Euromaidan, were killed by Ukrainian nationalists. It's the view propagated by Moscow. This is somebody at the University of Ottawa saying this. And then we have Dominique Arel at the University of Ottawa, who's Chair of Ukrainian Studies. He's so far up the ivory tower that he obviously can't see the ground. Since 2014, he's not written a single op-ed, blog, or article. Has he been away on holiday for 3 years? Does he not realize this is important? So when we talk about Ukrainian studies not getting involved in this big explosion and this big discussion, well, let's look to Dominique Arel. Why is he being so quiet? We have a very big, two big Putinphiles at the University of New Brunswick. Mikhail, should I call him, Molchanov. I was on once a TV debate with him, Luke Way, and Chrystia Freeland, and I couldn't believe the kind of things he was saying, which were denying at all that there are any Russian troops in the Donbas. And we have Paul Robinson at the University of Ottawa as well, who, again, tries to pretend he's objective, but, of course, his anti-Americanism, which is often always prevalent in these Putinphiles, comes out, and therefore he's comes out in this this pro-Putin line on the crisis. Canada's equivalent of Britain's Richard Sakwa that I've mentioned is also of Polish descent. Piotr Dutkiewicz at the Center for Russian and Eurasian Studies at the University or Carleton University. He also, again, it's this sort of Canadian anti-Americanism, which then translates into a very pro-Putin line on the crisis. So there we have it. We have Carleton University, Dutkiewicz, we have Molchanov, University of New Brunswick, we have Katchanovski, Dominique Arel at the University of Ottawa, and then we have the infamous Paul Robinson as well. So we have quite a group to deal with in Canada. Is Ukrainian studies dealing with that in Canada? I mean, is Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies doing anything about it? I don't think so. I think most academics sadly put their heads in the sand. They don't want to get into confrontation about this. Very few people want to do critical reviews, for example, of Richard Sakwa's book, or go on TV and have stormy debates with these kind of academics. And therefore, the revisionists, whether they're writing about Ukrainian nationalism or the Putinphiles talking and writing about contemporary Russian-Ukrainian relations, can get away with it because nobody's willing to take them on. That obviously is wrong. They should be taken on, and their views should be shown to be what they are, which is simply not insightful, not interesting. And in the case of many of these people, like Paul Robinson, they've never even been to Ukraine. And so all of a sudden, they're big experts on Ukraine. So it's incredible how they think that their knowledge of Russia allows them to have such a allegedly interesting and informative view of the crisis when they actually know nothing about the country. And they're not objective because their anti-Americanism gets in the way. The world has become a very bizarre place.